What's up, guys? Hold on one second. All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry about that. Just as I was starting the live, my doctor's office called to confirm my surgery for tomorrow. Woo! We are ready to rock and roll. So today's live cast is going to be about setting up a production run. Pretty excited. Got some new digs going on in the office. We're finally making our Miami house our house. My wife and I have come to the assumption we're going to start working together on projects. Lo and behold, that's something we have never been able to do. But in our old age, as we've started to taper down in anger towards each other, we're gonna start working on projects together. That's a joke for those of you that don't know me and my wife. For those of you that do know what I'm talking about. In any event, so today's topic is I am going to share my screen and show you what I'm going to make. So let's share the window, and we're going to go to 3D view, and we'll select all, preview all toolpaths. Okay. All right. So for right now, all of those are just on this one. Okay. And I haven't done the profiles yet to them. So what I'm making is an oak bottle opener slash oak glass smoker for my whiskey glass ashtray combo. So hold on. So I have these whiskey glasses that I use for my cigar ashtrays, right? And I'm going to make oak toppers that go over top of them that will be able to smoke my whiskeys and bourbons and stuff like that, that I may want a little bit more flavor to. I may want to change the flavor of. Maybe I make a cocktail like an old fashioned, or maybe like maybe a mule, maybe a ginger beer or something of that nature, where I want a little bit more smoky flavor to it. I'll be able to add that to this cocktail, to this whiskey, with this setup. Maybe I need to open something up, like a ginger beer bottle. I'll be able to do with this. Maybe I just want to put one around the house or whatever, whatever the case may be. But the point of today's live cast is to set this up as a production run. So as you see here, I have a 3-foot section, and I've nested this in such a way that it goes doom, 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 doom. Okay. I put this one on there. I did not use the software to nest it. And the reason being, I just nested it the way that I wanted it for right now. Just for this live cast. So as I go through, some of the things that I'm looking at when I'm setting up my production run is flow of parts, and also where am I going to end up with tool changes and tool runs and stuff like that. So with all of these parts, I actually don't have to do any tool changes. All of them are going to be 1/4 inch tools. All the tools used are going to be a 1/4 inch tool, which will be the Sky One CNC 3 flute. This is actually their aluminum bit, but I use it for wood, especially hardwoods, all the time. I love it because I run it a little bit hotter. And that's just me. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you what works for me. Okay. So I'm using a 1/4 inch end mill on this tiny 0.320 hole. Now, when you look at that and you say that hole is way too small to be using an end mill that big, that is a yes and a no scenario. Okay. And the reason why that's a yes and a no scenario is because there is actually a compensation formula that you can use. And I use this formula anytime my diameter of my pocket hole is less than 2 times the diameter of my tool. Okay. So if the hole is less than 2 times the diameter of my tool, I go ahead and implement an adjusted feed rate. And that formula is set up like this. Let's put a text box up here. And it's feed rate adjusted equals feed rate times hole diameter minus tool diameter divided by hole diameter. Okay. So in my case, we have FRA equals my feed rate for this. I'm doing 135 inches per minute. Okay. Times my hole diameter is 0.320 minus, I'm using a 1/4 inch end mill, 0.250. All of that is divided by a hole diameter, 0.320. And that gives me an adjusted feed rate of approximately 29 inches per minute. Okay. And I'll show you in just a second here. All right. 0.320 minus 0.25 equals 0.07. Divide that by 0.3. It's 0.22333 infinite, and multiply that by 135 is it's 31.5. I'm actually using a feed rate of 132, I think it is. But basically like right around the 35 area is going to give you about 30 inches a minute. So that's your adjusted feed rate. Anytime your hole diameter is smaller than 2 times the diameter of the tool. Okay. That's one of those loose and fast rules. It's not a rule. It's not a tip. It's not a trick. It's just something that an old timer taught me, and I kept it in my back pocket, and that's what I use. Okay. Another production tip that I use is a 30-degree ramp angle. And at 30 degrees of ramp angle, I do a 25% feed rate. So basically figure out your distance to get a 30-degree ramp angle and make your feed rate 25%. So for us, we would take, let's say 135 times 0.25. So that's 33.75 inches per minute. So now all of these pockets that I'm doing, I should be setting those to 33.75. So 33 to 34 inches per minute should be my ramp in for a 30-degree angle. Okay. And there's actually a chart for that based on what your ramp angle is, based on how much of a feed rate decrease you need to do. The steeper your ramp angle, the harsher your feed rate needs to be to cut that wood. Okay. It's also the harder on the tool bit. We've talked about that before. I equate it to the old airborne guy that his canopy drops him straight to the ground versus the sport skydiver that comes in at an angle and kind of walks out with the sport canopy or the sport wing, stuff like that. So as you start looking at that, those are two formulas that I really utilize a lot when I'm setting up a production run, because they can really help save on your tooling. So the more you're saving on your tooling, the less you're going to spend on your tooling. The less you spend on your tooling, the best, the better you can utilize that tooling, the longer it's going to last for you, and the more production you're going to get out of it. So I'm just checking here. We've got a couple comments. We got Matt Ewell saying he wishes he could get his wife involved. Matt, it's been a long, hard road. We've been married 20 years. We haven't successfully finished one project together. So this might be the one, and I'm not telling you it is. We haven't done it yet, so we don't know. And then we have Bull saying, good morning, boss. And just for you guys that are not aware, Bull did send me a swag bag. And in that swag bag was this cool Bullhead USB to transfer my files. And I utilize that. So thank you, Bull. I got a swag bag coming from Bjorn Larson over at Viking CNC Controls. Him and his wife actually run another business doing dog treats. And when it gets here, I will do a live on that, because they utilize their CNC machines to make their equipment for dog treats. So that's kind of cool. But we'll talk more about that when it gets here and go from there. But so back to the topic at hand, these two formulas really help me in my production runs because they allow wear and tear on the tool to be at a minimum. Longer wear and tear periods means more parts, means more cycles. More cycles means more money. So those are some things to think about when you're running your production, um, and we'll go from there. So you guys stay tuned for what's about to happen, and yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I don't know how this is going to turn out right now. This is going to be my first run on these designs. I thought I had these built up, but let me do a file save just to make sure. Okay. And I did do. Okay, let's do a screen share of the multiple setups. And these are just whiskey smokers that I found on YouTube and Etsy and Google. You know, I just took the best of what I found from each one of them and kind of modeled them up and went from there. So that's all it is. Done and done. So any questions, comments, and topics? Okay, we got more here. Oh, Bull. Anything, anytime, boss. Let's talk fixtures. If spindles at turning, you ain't. Oh, if spindle ain't turning, you ain't earning. That's absolutely right. We've talked about spindle runtime. Um, if that spindle is not cutting wood, it's not earning you money. It's costing you money. If it's sitting dormant, that machine is it's basically just taking up real estate, which could be making you money. It's going to cost you maintenance to get that machine back up and running because you're going to have to clean it off, which takes time. So a machine just sitting does not mean that it's just not doing anything. It's actually costing you money some way, some form. Okay. That does not mean the spindle running is making you money, because if you do not have it set up correctly and it's not making correct parts, it's costing you money. So there's that. As far as fixtures, Bull, for this run, I am doing a simple bump stop with a single board. However, once it is done, I will map out. I'll do a G54 fixture offset, and then I'll actually do a machine location on each board as it goes. And then once I have all of them lined up, I will go ahead and do the cutting. That's going to be, we're going to do a very basic fixture system, fixture offset on this. We're going to line a full 4x8. Once I get the 5-piece done, I'm going to add the extra foot. It's actually about, I can cut an extra 14 inches, but I'll actually cut an extra foot. So we'll add probably another two to three of those. And once I add those, Russell, what's up? Good afternoon, sir. But once I add those, we'll then go the whole 8-foot section, and we'll go from there. I will be using vacuum, and I'll be using air. Okay. So this is something that a lot of people don't do that I do. My dust boot, I have a hole drilled in it for a grommet. I remove that grommet. I put my air assist nozzle into the dust boot, and I aim it towards the end mill, and I actually blow the chips so that it creates a disturbance of air inside of it, inside of the dust boot area, stirring it up, allowing the vacuum to pick up the dust. Okay. So that's basically it. That's all we got. Any questions, comments, concerns? We're going to do another live once we're out at the machine, and I'll do another live out there showing you how I set up the wood, how I set up the tool change and everything like that. Because I have the automatic tool changer, I'll actually put this in the tool changer. I'll do my master tool measurement, and then I will go from there. Any questions, comments, concerns? You guys will probably be seeing another live from me in probably within the hour of setup. And depending on how everything goes, we may see another line or another live right after that one. All right. Peace, guys.